What is going on, you guys? My name is Cody Thixton, and this is Interesting Podcast. Coming to you guys on February 9th, 2023 for episode 24, where tonight we are going to be talking about CM Punk's return to AEW. Plus, what did The Undertaker have to say to Bray Wyatt at the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw? And Liv Morgan comments on her losing the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship to Ronda Rousey. We're going to break down the article and discuss it all right here, right now, on Interesting Podcast. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. This is going to be a very, very good podcast. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below at the end of the video and tell me what you guys thought about everything that we are going to be discussing. Make sure to go and follow me on social media at CodyT503. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's get right into this. This is coming from the Spotlight News. The Undertaker discusses what he told Bray Wyatt at WWE Raw's 30th anniversary show. The Undertaker is one of the most iconic superstars in WWE. He had wrestled a lot of superstars throughout the 30-plus year of his WWE career, including Bray Wyatt. The Eater of the World had a chance to face the Dead Man at WrestleMania 31, which was a huge accomplishment for Wyatt. Last month, WWE celebrated Monday Night Raw's 30th anniversary on January 23rd. In that episode of Raw, the Phenom made his return to WWE to accept LA Knight's challenge. A few moments later, Bray Wyatt appeared and hit Sister Abigail on Knight. The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt had a face-off in the closing moment of the segment, which received a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. During that moment, the WWE Hall of Famer whispered something to Bray Wyatt. This is essentially what we were left with. During an interview with Sportsnet, Undertaker discussed the moment he shared with Bray Wyatt on WWE's 30th anniversary show. This is what The Undertaker had to say, and I quote, "They're very interested, and I knew that they would be when I did it. But yeah, no, that's the moment that Bray and I shared. There's obviously a huge amount of comparisons between his character and mine, and I think he's his own guy. He's his own character. I don't think it's fair to him to compare what he does to what I did. In the big scheme of things, it's kind of in that same supernatural, I don't know what, genre. It's 2023, and he's doing his own thing, but I can appreciate it. I can see what he's trying to do, and I just let him know, too. My phone's always on if he needs to talk to me about things or run things by me. That's cool. I would be more than glad to share my experience with him and hopefully shine some light on maybe questions that he has moving forward. So yeah, it was a cool moment and it did exactly what I thought it would do." That is super freaking interesting. That is really, really interesting. So essentially, as everybody knows, Bray Wyatt is like a supernatural character just like The Undertaker was. And that is why, just like The Undertaker said, it's almost not fair to compare Bray Wyatt and what he's doing to what The Undertaker did. Because they're obviously two completely different characters. They're in somewhat of the same genre. But The Undertaker is one of the most protected characters in WWE history, because if you look at before he actually retired, he never really did interviews or took photos with fans or did anything. You never heard him speak outside of his character because of how protected it was. It added to that aura of The Undertaker, and that's something that unfortunately Bray Wyatt doesn't really have behind his back, especially with social media, with how easy it is to get information about exactly what's happening or get information about them than what The Undertaker had to deal with in like the late 90s and early 2000s when, things started to be spoilers and whatnot. But for The Undertaker to give Bray Wyatt essentially the nod of, "Hey, I have your back. Give me a call if you need some help with anything or you want an experienced perspective," that's really, really cool, because that would definitely help Bray Wyatt kind of tweak out his character a little bit if he ever comes across a situation where like with WWE, where they kind of buried him a few years ago, and then now he's trying to reemerge himself and make himself into a big star like he used to be. So that is really, really cool, and he's definitely going to get a whole lot of knowledge from The Undertaker, especially with him just being a call away. It's going to be freaking awesome to see what Bray Wyatt extracts from The Undertaker and gives us on our TV. The next bit of news, CM Punk reportedly ready for an AEW return. Now this is going to be a little bit of a discussion, so make sure to go and grab your popcorn and get something to drink, because we are going to get into this. This is what the Spotlight News had to say on CM Punk. CM Punk reportedly ready for an AEW return. Last September, CM Punk expressed his frustration about the EVPs of AEW during the All Out media scrum. Punk was then involved in a huge backstage brawl while Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland's time in the media scrum. The incident made a huge black mark in AEW and pro wrestling. At the time, CM Punk was the AEW World Champion. However, Tony Khan stripped Punk from the title and suspended him indefinitely. Later, multiple news outlets revealed that CM Punk suffered a torn tricep during the match against Jon Moxley at All Out. Punk is currently recovering from the injury following surgery. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that AEW has a lack of top babyfaces, and CM Punk is available for a comeback in a couple months if Tony Khan wants to use him. This is what Dave Meltzer had to say, and I quote, "They're lacking in that babyface position something fierce. They had a shot with MJF, obviously. They did the double cross on that. And MJF was great as a heel tonight, but they don't have the guy. Punk's not going to be the guy either. I know some people might say, well, Punk's coming back. Punk may come back. He will be available to come back if they want to use him in a couple months. It's not like it's so far in the future. And of course, if they were to bring Punk back, that opens up a lot of issues that we can talk about another day." That is actually one of the key points that people need to realize when we are talking about this report, is that there are going to be issues with bringing CM Punk back to AEW, because I was super excited when CM Punk made his return on AEW Rampage back in August of 2021. Yeah, 2021. There you go. Getting the years all screwed up here. I was super duper excited because I had waited 7 years for him to finally come back to professional wrestling. Because I remember in 2014 when he had finally walked away from WWE and finally just said, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, and asked for his release. Or WWE fired him, sorry. I just was so excited just to see him come back. And it seemed like within the first year of him being in AEW, he squandered everything that everybody was so excited about. It sucked. It sucks to have this kind of CM Punk. Okay, because in the report, for the people that maybe don't know, CM Punk was at the All Out media scrum. All Out is AEW's big pay-per-view. They have a media scrum afterward where podcasters or news outlets can come in and ask the wrestlers a question about whatever in the event or what they're going to do in the future, just to be interactive. Well, CM Punk went off at the media scrum, and he had the audacity to be sitting next to Tony Khan and say that the management in AEW can't even manage a target. He just made CM Punk, or he just made Tony Khan, CM Punk just made Tony Khan look like the biggest pussy of a boss. Because Tony Khan just sat there. He didn't say anything. He didn't interject. He didn't stop Punk. He didn't, pull him off to the side or like cover the microphone and be like, hey, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, he said nothing. And fans resented him after that. Tony Khan paid for that after what had happened because of the fact that he didn't say anything. And CM Punk made himself look freaking stupid. He did, because everybody was so high on CM Punk. Everybody was so excited to see him back in pro wrestling. And especially given the fact that I have told people this before. When Tony Khan was setting up AEW and he was configuring his roster, he was figuring out what people he wanted, where he wanted them, whatnot. Just like our list, what I do here on this channel with the top 10 list. That's the same exact thing that Tony Khan did. And the number one person that he wanted to base AEW around was CM Punk. And then for CM Punk to sit in the media scrum and just let CM Punk say whatever the hell he wanted to say and there be no consequences, what are you telling to your employees, to the other wrestlers, that they can just do whatever the hell they want and there is no consequence for it? I don't get it. He made himself look like a really, really bad boss. And then CM Punk, like I was saying, made himself look stupid after years and years and years of people wanting to see him come back, and then within a year, he squanders it. That's why they said there's going to be issues with CM Punk coming back, because some fans are not going to like it. They do not agree with what he did. They do not agree with Tony Khan just sitting there and allowing it to happen. Freaking crazy. CM Punk, man, it sucks that is how it had to go. After 1 year of him being back in pro wrestling, and he freaking screws it all up. Stupid. He's just way too egotistical. Let's get into the last bit of news. Last bit. Liv Morgan comments on losing the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship to Ronda Rousey. Now again, this is being brought to you guys by the Spotlight News. This is what they had to say. Last year, Liv Morgan became the Miss Money in the Bank and won the SmackDown Women's Championship by defeating Ronda Rousey. Liv held the title for only 98 days before losing it to Rousey in an Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules. However, Liv Morgan proved that she is a tough woman on the roster by competing in the Royal Rumble match. Liv entered the Rumble match at number 2 and lasted until the final 2 competitors. She is now set to compete inside the Elimination Chamber against Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez, Carmella, Natalya, and Nikki Cross to become the number 1 contender for the Raw Women's title. During an interview with Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast, Liv Morgan discussed losing the SmackDown Women's Championship to Ronda Rousey last year. Liv said that she is willing to do everything to get her title back. This is what Liv Morgan said, and I quote, "I have so much room to play, which I really appreciate. I feel like passing out and losing my title the way that I did. I feel I had worked so hard for that, and for it to be taken away, I have nothing left to lose. I have nothing else to lose. I feel like my back is against the wall. So I'm ready and willing to do anything and everything I need to do to get my championship back. If that means putting myself through pain, putting others through pain, I'm down and ready for it all and having so much fun with it. I'm enjoying it. I enjoy seeing how far I can go and how far I can push and push others and how far they can push me." Liv Morgan said that watching Extreme Rules matches at the age of 5 made her love pro wrestling. Liv added that she wants to show the fans how hardcore she is. She continued to say, "It's only going to get more hardcore. That's the reason why I fell in love with WWE. I was 5 years old. It wasn't like the story that got me. It was the extreme, the TLC matches, the hardcore matches. That's what really caught my eye and made me fall in love with wrestling. To fast forward and be able to live out this crazy, extreme fantasy that I've always had, it feels so fitting in full circle. I wouldn't want to do anything else right now. I thoroughly enjoy myself and having fun and seeing how else I can show how extreme I am. I'm excited to see where I can go and take it. Liv Morgan said she understands that there are a lot of obstacles on her path to become a champion in WWE. She continues to say, "That's how I feel right now. I feel like my back is against the wall. Who wants some? Are you sure you want some? Are you sure you want to do this Extreme Rules match with me? I will put this table on fire and I will add thumbtacks." End quote. So that is what Liv Morgan had to say about her losing the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship to Ronda Rousey last year. And I believe that WWE really kind of dropped the ball with Liv Morgan because she was, in my opinion, a really, really good Money in the Bank holder. Like, she could have really gone on and really made that briefcase like special on WWE programming. But they had her cash in on Ronda Rousey the same exact night that she won it. And she was a great champion for the time that, she was champion. And I just wish that they did it a little bit more where maybe she was able to be in the position that Bianca Belair is in. Where, Bianca Belair won the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39. And she's going to be heading into WrestleMania this year, or WrestleMania 38, and she's going to be heading into WrestleMania 39 this year as the same Raw Women's Champion. So she'll have a complete calendar year where she was the Raw Women's Champion. And I wish that they would have done the same exact thing with Liv Morgan and have her been on like a good 9-10 month reign, because I feel like that's what championships should always be. It should always be about 6 to 10 months. Or if you want to hit that year mark, then you can. But at least 6 months of somebody being champion for it to legitimize their reign instead of it being almost like hot potatoing a title. So I feel like WWE kind of screwed up on that. But I predict that we will probably see Liv Morgan in the title picture going through 2023, going into 2024. So imagine if WWE wanted Liv Morgan to just explode and actually be able to bring out some of that extreme. Maybe Triple H has a few tricks up his sleeve where he's going to give us a little bit of blood or a little bit of extreme like they used to do in the early 2000s and late 90s. We don't know. But Liv Morgan will be in a championship role sometime in the future. Otherwise, I don't think that she would be going on somewhere and telling people, do you want some? I want to take this extreme. I want to get my championship back. It's making me work even harder because I've lost everything, so I have nothing to lose now. It's going to be very, very interesting to follow and see exactly what WWE has planned for Liv Morgan. Freaking awesome. But that is all of the news that we have for today. It's freaking crazy, man. I love being partnered up with the Spotlight News, where we get to sit here and discuss all of their articles and really break down things and then give you my thoughts on what I'm reading and what I interpret coming out of it. So crazy. I love it. But anyway, if this is the kind of content that you guys like podcasts, you guys like pro wrestling, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, because this is the channel for you. Again, this was episode 24 for February 9th, 2023, and this was Interesting Podcast. I will be back later on this week with some more WWE news and rumors and possible more discussions. We'll see if I can come up with something. I will catch you guys later, and I hope all of you have a very good night. I'll catch you guys later.